Remember where we left it last time?
Yeah, we came to that crazy place.
Yeah, it came to the it's not a church, it's like something else, but something
Cathedral.
Like cathedral was it? I think we got to the building side of that. Did we?
Yeah, so as we left it last time, you guys had just reached the entrance to Stern Hope, which you should be able to see on your screen now.
I can.
So you guys are out here at the main entrance with your truck, and you all dismounted, and there was a man there with a rifle over his back and an axe. He sort of stood there, looked you up and down for a minute, and then welcomed you in. And then we left it there without anyone responding. So.
Nice.
Yes.
And then through magical means, as he turned around and started walking in, some of us just got better, grew some muscle. I realized how I could take someone down. It's like, yeah, why did I think of this earlier?
Magic.
Yeah. I assume we follow. God damn it, what's his name? Whoever we were, the Inquisitor we were.
Arista.
About Sky? Is that?
Aristarchus.
Oh yeah,
Aristarchus,
that's
yeah. Follow that dude, I guess. Whatever he does.
Yeah, so he'll wave whoever was driving the truck to get back in and drive it up the road and bring it into the compound. And the man that greeted you, sort of opened the gates, will sort of lead you up the street. And whether you guys get back on the truck or walk with him or walk behind him, he'll lead you up the main street.
I would probably walk.
Sure.
I think.
Seems more respectful to walk.
But wait, weren't you driving the truck? I'm quite certain Haxus was driving the truck, so I don't think you can walk. Would be quite weird.
I'll park the truck.
So he'll wave you up.
Fick parkering.
And follow you up. And he'll come up to about here and then turn off towards this building. Black L1. And he'll point a spot out for the truck alongside it.
Nice.
After the truck's parked up and everyone's together, he'll turn around and sort of start shaking people's hands. Greetings, pilgrims. Such faith and preparation is admirable to see. I suppose you are the help that the abbot has sent for, yes?
Yes.
Truly, we are not forgotten. I am Brother Mark, one of the churchmen of this mission. Welcome to Sternhope. The abbot awaits your pleasure at the priory in the morning after you are arrested. Unfortunately, he's currently occupied and apologises for not greeting you himself. Sent me instead. Hang on a second, my bike alarm. That's right, it's just raining so hard it set my bike alarm off. That's good.
Britain.
So give me all a handshake. Do you have any trouble on the way here?
I
We had a strange occurrence. A couple actually, but... And a holy symbol. Other than that, not really that much. Nothing dangerous, seemingly.
A holy symbol, you say?
A holy symbol. Yes. I wasn't one of them, but Aristarchus and Vixen found a holy symbol. At least they claim that it was one, and they probably can tell you more.
I nod and well, I'm certain our Aristocles could explain more. I'm not that knowledgeable in the matters of holy symbols and mystical things. I'm a mere arbitrator.
Aristarchus looked up. Yes, we found a Terran hawk blazoned in the rocks above the road. Truly a sign that this mission is destined for success. I'm honoured to be here at this time. Lamarck will look over. Intriguing. Aristarchus starts staring up at the cathedral. So, obviously, this building in the centre is the cathedral, raised up on a hill.
Could never have guessed.
It's made like a black granite, fairly imposing. Not as finely decorated as most sort of cathedrals you would have seen before. Those of you that come from any hive world background or scholar programming, and certainly who was it that came from? Was it?
Yeah, me from the monastic upbringing.
Yeah. You'd have seen far grander and more impressive cathedrals, even churches. But the fact this is so far out and is built this impressively is, in and of itself, quite an achievement. This Lamarck will gesture towards the building you're next to. This is the Crying Cloister, our guest hall. I suppose it's an inn of sorts. It's not much, but it's better than a tent. They'll have rooms for you ready.
I'm sorry, which house was this? I feel like I'm really stupid right now.
The Tetris one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
I must go back to my duties on the gate, but if you have need of anything in the night, come and find me.
Thank you.
Before it leaves, can I I'm assuming I see this, I motion towards it and ask what it is. Like, what's that building over there? That seems to be a bit grander than the rest of them.
Ah, that is the priory. That is the home of the missionaries and the monks and the other brothers.
I nod. Thank you.
From what you can see, it's a fairly sort of standard prefab structure. Certainly more than the smaller tents and the like, which are these symbols, the smaller tents. But it's still not exactly a luxurious building. Anyway, I apologise, but I must go back to the guarding the gates. As I'm sure you're aware, there are certain unsavoury folk in these parts.
Yeah, we've noticed, and thank you for doing your duty to the Emperor. May he guide us. And I nod.
The way the silent Quiller and bow down
Do the same.
and then head off.
I turn to damn Aristocles. What the? I can't remember name.
Aristarchus.
I turn to him and ask, are we needed for something?
He'll sort of stare off at the cathedral while you say it, and about a second or two afterwards, he'll shake his head and look at you. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I suppose we should bed down and get some rest.
Okay.
Yep.
Should we check
Yes.
this place out then?
Yeah, sure. I agree.
I think that we should rest. Because I'm quite sleepy.
What's the timing like?
Yeah, time of day.
It's probably coming up to about 9:30, 10 at night.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah. Then I agree.
So yeah, it's fairly late.
Sure.
So he'll head off towards the cloister, and as you go in, it's a fairly sparsely furnished sort of inn on the lower floor, wooden tables and chairs and stools. Not many people here at this time of night. It's a bit dusty. It doesn't look like it's particularly well built. You can feel the wind sort of pulling through it a little bit, but not in any uncomfortable fashion. The innkeeper will come across. Ah, welcome. We've been expecting you. You must be Aristarchus. Well, no, Aristarchus. And his associates.
We snarled them. I snarled and agree, like you.
The abbots might have us prepare rooms for you upstairs. If you'd like to follow me.
I follow.
Yeah.
I check on, like, are there other people around?
There are a handful, not too many.
How do they look? Do they look like, are they looking a bit starved? Are they looking like, how are they looking rich, moderate, poor, like, well fed?
There's a mixture of people that are obviously local, garbed in sort of the same fashion you've seen previously, and with the face paints, and a few people that look out of place somewhat, more likely to be outworlders, although dressed in similar clothes as that's what's available. They all look fairly poor, but well fed, and fairly happy by the looks of it.
So,
Is it only male or are there females as well? I'm not asking this like as a stupid question.
No, there's male and female.
Okay.
What a stupid question. God damn it.
I'm thinking maybe
Fucking cunt.
either it's like maybe families and all together, but if there's only people here working on building the cathedral, seeing women would be weird, unless they're prostitutes, which I'm assuming they're not looking like.
it's not
The
important.
general 40k universe generally employs men and women equally in most professions.
Wait, it's builders? I thought it was heavy labor.
Huh?
Like
Yeah,
heavy labor
Yeah,
on a
but-
poor planet. I would assume that that it.
Both
like-
women, because they use tools, I guess, so they both can.
Yeah,
do
that
Okay.
and the people here are pilgrims mainly. They're here on a religious quest, not as paid labour or anything.
Okay.
But they're doing this as an act of faith.
Yeah, but I meant if there were only hired paid labor, they would only be they would be mostly men at least. But
Yeah.
that's why I asked. Okay, I guess I could follow all up to the room, like follow
Yeah,
the
so the innkeeper will lead you guys upstairs. And there are 3 rooms. One put aside especially for Aristarchus, and 2 with 2 single beds for you guys. So you
Oh,
guys
no
share-
bunk beds.
No, you
I'm
guys are sharing
disappointed.
Oh,
to a room.
I like turn to Haxus with like making sure that at least Striker doesn't hear me and like go. Can you keep an eye on this assassin or whatever he is? I don't trust him.
I will go like, I'm not sure I am qualified to look out for people like him. But of course I will look out for anything he does and see to it that he doesn't get in trouble if I would find myself with him.
I just know it's like good. Then you two get the same room. And I just beckon to boys, and I very quickly assess the rooms if one looks better than the others, and I like beckon him into that room and I go in there myself.
I will make a face behind his back.
Do these rooms look like identical, or does one look a slight bit better than the other?
One looks a little bit cleaner than the other, a little less dusty.
Okay, I beckon boys in that room and I go in myself. I turn to others like, you guys take that room.
Mm.
Aristarchus
clean
will sort of stick his head in his room and turn around and sort of say out to you guys. And here we are. I'm feeling rather tired. Travel isn't what it used to be for me. If Abbot Skay arrives before dawn, send him my way if you please. Some of you may wish to have a talk with the locals. Be wary if you decide to go and have a look about outside. Remember that Icanthos has no moons. The nights are near pitch black. Anyway, I bid you all a good night. He'll turn, walk into his room and close the door behind him.
Do we get like rations or something, like food brought to us?
Yeah, if you go and ask for it brought up.
Yeah. Do we know how like tight the budget are? Do we know like if some stuff like is alcohol readily available to the people working here, or is that like something a luxury that they don't get?
I think they would have rations. Right?
Yeah, everyone here that you've seen like downstairs are well fed. The part of sort of the mission will be to make sure everyone's well fed and sustained.
Yep.
There were people drinking alcohol downstairs, sort of a basic ale sort of stuff.
Okay. Did I see people, like a lot of people smoking?
No, there's no one smoking inside.
Oh, or outside?
You didn't see any people on the outside.
Okay.
But there was smoke in the air, but there was probably more likely from campfires.
As like when we got them settled in, I turned to boys and I go, I would like to. I think we should have a word with the guards at the gate. They might have seen something. If we're to investigate, we might. I think he's the first one we should talk to. I think.
Yeah.
I think tonight would be a good night.
But
Sure.
you want to
That seems likely.
Investigation work during the night. Would it be more correct to sleep and do it in the morning?
I assume we not all go, because that might look suspect if we all would start traveling during the night. I believe if you and Striker can stay here, and we'll calm you if something bad happens, and otherwise you can call us in case we would be needed back here, because I assume that Aristarchus will be one of the first to know if trouble arrives.
Yes, I will stay here.
Okay, I know, then like I start leaving, assuming boys will follow me.
Yeah. I follow.
Like I tried to make it back to like the gate we came in through.
Yeah, there's still a bit of light left, sort of fairly dim twilight at this point. But you can see the lanterns that the men around the gates are using, so you can sort of zero in on them. And follow, it's a straight road back down. So.
Do I see the guy like we talked to earlier, that guard?
Yes.
I assume I walk up to him and I offer him a low stick.
No, thank you.
Okay, yes. Do you mind?
Please be my guest.
I start smoking one, and then I ask like, I just wondered, have you seen something strange recently?
Yes. No, there's certainly been some strange occurrences in the area, even in the cathedral itself. It's a little unnerving, I must admit.
Have the aggression, if we say so, from the locals been what would be expected? Have they been more or less aggressive?
Not particularly so, no. I suppose they've been a little on edge, some of the clans, but we're generally far enough away from sort of more well-travelled areas not to be so much of an issue.
But things that you said about the chapel or in the cathedral, what something more specific, or is it just a feeling? Or
I don't know. I haven't seen anything myself, but we hear reports from some of the congregation every now and then. People working inside. Old Mother Vosa saw, well, supposedly saw, the stone altar weep blood one day. But then she always was a little half mad, at least. She lost all of her family to the slavers when she was young.
Hmm.
I
Haven't seen her for a few days. She's probably sleeping some of the more powerful medications off.
I take a long drag of smoke and I'm like, I look up to the sky, it's a blowed out, and I turn back to him. Have the guards around the gates been extra twitchy? I assume that these curses can't be making the men too happy.
Oh, I suppose. Yeah, a little bit, I suppose. But so we haven't seen much of anything outside the compounds in the evening. Anything that would suggest anyone doing anything malicious. I say most of the men that guard the walls and the gates are volunteers from the pilgrims. The shift changes fairly regularly. So I haven't noticed any long-term pattern.
I know that I'm like, I yet again offer him like one in case he wants one. And
He'll
then,
shake his head at you.
and I'm shook rug. I've turned to boys and like, I think we should head back unless you want to do something more.
No, not today at least. I want to visit the cathedral tomorrow, but
Yes,
might be later during the day.
I assume they plan for that. I like take another smoke and I start walking back.
You. It's getting pretty dark.
Yeah, so by this time the lights faded almost entirely. It's quite difficult to see where you're going. Once you get up to here, you can see lights at the bottom part of the inn, so it's not too bad. So you can follow them down and get back.
Okay, when we get in, I'm like going to order an ale of some sort, like sit down in a corner, probably just like watch the crowd a bit, drink it from I like spend half an hour with one jug or whatever we get, and then I will go back up to my room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So people are generally fairly quiet. It's less raucous than you'd be used to for most taverns or inns, pubs or whatever. But then this is a community of pilgrims, so I suppose that's probably less surprising. There's no arguments or fights or anything. People seem generally good spirits. Fair amount of excitement and sort of general high-spirited chatter, but nothing that stands out to you as unusual.
A bit about do we know, like, our characters know when the cathedral is supposed to be done? Is how soon it is?
Within the next few days.
Okay. Alright. After, I assume nothing really happens after like half an hour, so then I go back to my room. Does the ale cost anything, or is that part?
I go to the
get?
room there.
You guys are given
Okay.
given free drink as free drink.
Okay. Yeah.
As acolytes of the Inquisition. Or I feel you're going to be fairly well respected at this point.
Yeah. As soon as I'm done, I'm like going to like say my thanks to the innkeeper, I guess, and start heading up to my room.
Yep.
Does alarm clocks exist in this system?
They exist in the universe, yeah. You don't have one.
Shit. Can I make some kind of like alarm clock, like something simple?
You could pull the drapes back over the windows.
Okay.
Use the sun.
Okay, I'll do. I was thinking if I could do it, so I would wake up like at 1 o'clock, but then I can't, I guess.
What have you got? Oh, yeah, it's got-
I don't think I have anything that would actually allow me wake up. I don't have light sleep or something like that.
No, not really.
I have tempered will.
You could set up a big line of glow sticks around the room with a shotgun shell at the end.
Please, no. I will kill you.
I'll just sleep. I keep it. I won't even keep the drapes open because like I'm pretty much military trained at getting up at sundown, like at dawn always. So my body does that automatically. That's what you get when you live in one of those places. But yeah, other than that, I guess I can't. Yeah.
So yeah, the night will pass uneventfully. You'll all sleep fairly well. A little bit itchy.
Oh.
The woolen sheets, but not too bad. Yeah. So whenever you wake up.
I get up at dawn, I guess, and I start like.
Yeah. I mean, the light will come through, even through the curtains, to a certain extent.
As
Sunrises.
I like get up, I of course slept naked, so I'm gonna stand like look out the window, like still completely
And you
nude.
need to put your hands to your side. Like,
Yeah, I'm just gonna stand there like admiring the view for a while, like completely not caring really, and then I'm just gonna start getting dressed and ready. And I assume if Boys hasn't woken up when I've
No,
gotten
I'm
dressed,
sleeping.
I don't know. I don't actually wake him up because there's enough. Like, do we expect like a meeting in the morning?
This is your first mission, so you don't know. You'd be used to a morning briefing
Yeah, but
in your previous life, so it's not an unreasonable thing for you to expect.
nah, my character doesn't wake him up. My character just walks out. I guess I check if like the door to Aristarchus is open.
It is, yes.
I walk in and I'm like, or I check if he's awake or if he slept with the door open first, I guess. But if he's awake, I'm gonna
He's
walk in.
not in his room.
Oh, if he's not in his room, I'm not gonna invade his privacy. Then I'm just gonna like say, Aristarchus, you there? And if he doesn't respond, I'm gonna walk down to like the first floor.
Yeah. He's sat on a chair in the far corner, looking at his tarot cards.
I walk over, like, I guess as a past innkeeper, I make some small talk, like, just showing that I'm, like, being nice and, like, humble to the innkeeper, because I've shown my gratitude, and, like, oh, well, thank you so much, my kind sir, for the last night and the pleasant conversation.
You're very welcome. It's an honor to have you all there.
Do you think you could, do we serve breakfast? Because I would be honored to try your cooking.
Of course, yes. So I'm afraid it's not much.
No, probably more than I deserve. Thank you, my good sir. And I shake his hand and I guess walk and sit at the same table as Aristarchus.
Yeah, he'll as he sees you approach, he'll put his cards away.
I just nod to him. I'm just gonna make
Morning, Vixen.
I'm just gonna make pleasant small talk, like good morning, and I'm not going to talk about anything relevant. So I guess we don't roleplay that.
So as you see him, he's looking really quite tired.
If that's the case, I'm actually gonna ask trouble sleeping.
A little, but I've endured far worse than a poor night's sleep in the service of the Emperor. I'm sure you have as well.
I know, yep. This usually help a bit, and I show him a bit of one of the, I guess, strong alcohol, bottles full of strong alcohol that I carry, and it's not him. I've stopped using it myself, but I've heard it. I still see the effects in my fellow companions from time to time.
Thank you for the offer, but I do not partake myself.
It's not neither do I. As soon as I get my food, I'm just going to start eating. And like,
It's simply I'm just not quite as young as I used to be.
he's not like, yep. Do you, as a seer, I don't really know much about the matters that you guys do or understand, but do you get the feeling from the cathedral or something similar? I've seen you getting distracted earlier.
Yes, it's forgive me. It's just an amazing place.
Yes.
It's such a holy place and structure can be built even in the most harsh place like this, surrounded by almost savages.
I'm like
So-
going to come in, come down to the place now. What's it called?
To get first floor, what?
Yeah, first floor, whatever. And going to be like, and then I'm going to go, kind of.
As soon as I
That's my best.
as soon as I see him, I'm just gonna like motion him over a bit, and like as soon as he comes, I'm going to say it loudly so the innkeeper can hear me, and I'm like, "Oh, you have to try the food. Might be simple, but it's simple done well is simply delicious." I say, and I ask him to try something I have on my plate or something.
I'm going
Yeah.
to have like a face like what?
And I motion to my food like, "This is really delicious. You should try it."
Well, if you say so, I guess I will test it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's all right.
yeah.
I'm gonna say it.
I like pull out a chair so you can sit down or something.
Well, why you be right back? I'm sorry, but it will go fast.
Oh, no problem. And
I'm going to start talking like basically the same Vixen did about irrelevant stuff you do in the morning.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
After a while, I'm going to like lean in and like, hasn't Striker been behaving really well lately? Like the last 24 hours? I'm impressed.
I'm not.
actually.
I think he's been sleeping most of the time. So.
Yes,
I
yes, but he's been quiet. I find it an improvement.
Perhaps,
Probably because we can blow up his head.
perhaps his experiences have taught him the error of his ways. At least we can hope.
I think he awoke in the middle of the night. I've become blind, or something, and then he slept. It was quite weird, but I guess that's what happened to people who's got their weird people.
Yes. Well, hopefully his better behaviour continues.
I know. Like,
It's if not, he's little more than a liability. One that we can ill afford, even on such a simple mission as this.
simple, yes, but strange. Very strange.
You'll get used to it.
And
In my long years of service, it's been rare for anything to not be considered at least a little strange.
I nod, like I'm accepting his wisdom, and then I'm gonna turn a bit more serious and go. Are we going to be meeting the abbot today?
Yes, I believe so.
It would be
Hopefully not too
lovely
late.
to meet the abbot, and I would rather do it sooner than later,
Indeed.
so we can.
Before we meet Skay in person, because we would quite appreciate having a discussion with all of us together.
He's
Pull
not.
what our thoughts.
I'm back. Sorry, it was somebody at the front door, so...
Right. Excellent time.
Yeah, as always.
You should probably go like, and then I come down to the bottom floor and I go, oh!
Yeah, no, but I come down and like look tired, not really tired. Like, I slept longer than you, so I look pig and fresh.
Oh, my character looks pig and fresh. He's like perfect. It looks like he's been relaxing, taking it easy. I mean, he smoked and he had an ale. That's like all he asked for.
At this time of day,
And not
really?
yet.
I suppose at this point, Strike will come down as well.
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
Get himself some food. And
Probably not
sit in
saying
the corner
anything,
and
like
not say
eyeing
anything.
us.
Yeah.
Probably lost his voice or something. Yeah.
Picking a bit of noise, yeah.
that's-
Yeah, I should also get something to eat.
Once you grabbed your food and sat down, perhaps Dark sort of look around. Did any of you go out last evening?
I nod
Yeah.
and like yes. I felt I needed to check in with the guard we talked earlier. I wanted to get a lay on the situation here and hear what the guards had been feeling.
What did you find out?
what did you say?
Nothing much, but it seems that the guards are at least calm, and they have. It seems like most of the trouble has been in or very close to the cathedral, apparently. And apparently, as one would hope, the locals, so to speak, have been being calm, and that's so. Nothing seems to be that out of order
Well,
for the guards.
They have seen some things in the cathedral lobe, but it might just be.
But that's just
Bollocks.
like normal for a construction place, I would say. With room.
Yeah, but it can be good to notice.
Okay. I guess if Aristarchus feels any difference, any nearby psychers or anything like that, we probably
I
would
feel
be
nothing.
alert. But right now, I think we're pretty safe.
I think with the omens that we saw on the way here, with the symbol and the rock, I think what people may be seeing are hallucinations or manifestations of a similar outbleed of the Emperor's power.
Might be so.
It's not entirely unheard of. And those, even the faithful, those without more understanding, can often find it disturbing and frightening. Alas,
Yes.
for most of us, it's not something we can ever understand truly.
Yes, of course, but poking your head around can never hurt, can it? I say,
No.
like, no. But
No. I expect you to do your duty and investigate anything out of the ordinary. But, on the other hand, don't be too brusque or rude with his congregation.
of course not. We
They
should never be
have
rude.
suffered enough hardships without us multiplying.
As faithful servants of the Emperor they are, and as that they shall be treated.
Exactly.
I'm glad I can count on you.
Okay, I guess I make small talk until he actually mentions anything that's noteworthy or something.
Yeah. We'll look at his chronometer. And, well then, would you care to accompany me with my meeting with Abbot Skate?
I nod here.
Yes.
Excellent.
Sure. We will.
Do you want to gather anything you want to carry?
Like, quick question. Would
Assuming
I know
it's
if
not
it
worrying.
was weird if I would carry around a shotgun here? Like, would that be considered rude?
Well, we are like supposed to, look out for trouble, things like that. So it probably wouldn't. But,
Yeah, I
but
mean-
maybe you shouldn't take it into the cathedral if we're going into there.
I will leave my
Outside,
shotgun.
or give it to someone to guard for you.
I mean, you're out in sort of the frontier, so to say. So carrying weapons isn't that unusual. Even in a community like this, it wouldn't be that unusual. And especially as you're known as members of the Inquisition, that would be given a wider amount of freedom.
Okay. Then I'm bringing my shotgun, I guess, and everything, but...
Yeah, I want to leave my shotgun.
Haxus may wish to leave some of his armor at least behind. It's fairly hot during the day. If you're not constantly getting into a fight, it's going to be fairly uncomfortable.
Well,
But then that's his choice.
I'm going to at least then take off the helmet, because that's probably the worst.
Yeah.
And then I can also take off the armor of the greaves. No, the arms and the head. I would probably go unprotected, because then that's more. It brings it so that the air can at least go through the clothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, once
And
you've
take the rest of the equipment with me.
once you guys have gathered your kit and dressed yourselves for outdoorsy stuff, and everyone's ready to leave, Aristarchus will lead you out and over to the priory, which is this building over here. So it's not short, not far. So looking around as you go past around the tents and stuff. No one seems to be doing any work or anything. People seem to just be sort of hanging around their tents and talking amongst themselves, just generally spending time with each other.
It doesn't look like weird, like people are like hysterical or like in any way
No.
acting up. Yeah, and I'm not.
There generally smiles, and the general feeling you get from the place is one of hope and happiness.
I'm going to try to pay extra attention to the locals, the obvious locals.
Yeah.
So, see them with a bit more distrust and try to notice anything if they would try to do anything.
Yeah.
My characters turned out to be oblivious of everything in all these situations, so, I guess I don't notice anything.
Oh no, we're gonna die.
So yeah, a few of the sort of pilgrims notice that you're eyeing up particular groups within, and sort of start to close in on those groups, sort of making them less obvious as the the off-worlders all sort of move towards the more local pilgrims and sort of start talking to them and stuff. Your reaction of sort of staring at them. Aristarchus will lead you over to the priory. There's a sort of a big prefabricated tower sort of thing. Fairly similar to a prefab bunker, to be honest. That Haxus would be fairly familiar with from his career in the guard. It's modified off the same pattern, basically. The doors are open, and there's a brother sat on the stairs outside. Nod as you pass, and Aristarchus will lead you into sort of the main bottom area, which is a large communal hall with a few rooms off to either side, and he'll walk sort of straight ahead and through an open door on the far side into a small meeting room. Then the halls of the wall are decorated with sort of hand-painted scenes of an imperial saint, Saint Drusius, who you'd all know basically led the campaign 1,000 years ago to retake the Calypso sector from various aliens and heretics, and is well renowned within Calypso sector.
As I see it, they make some like old design, and bow down a bit, like pay my respects.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But nothing that takes long. Not really stopping.
Yeah. Waiting in the room are two men, and once you're all in, Aristarchus will close the door behind you. Then one of the men will say, "Good morning, gentlemen. I am Prelate Orland Skay. I have the honour to be missionary abbot of Stern Hope. I believe good brother Lamarck greeted you last night in my stead, and this tall and dangerous-looking fellow you may remember from the gate his brother servers, our assessor here. My apologies for not meeting you when you arrived. My duties kept me from it. Thank you all very much for coming to us in our hour of need. When I first issued my request for assistance, you would not hope for more prompt attention. I suppose I should probably tell you first of ourselves and the place here by way of context. I know what you all must be thinking. How did this worn-out old man talk the ecclesiarchy into building such a magnificent cathedral on this forsaken rock? I suppose it wasn't that difficult, really. In another life, ages ago, I was of a noble family and not without a few connections. I let my family know that an old man's memory is far more apt to slip when he has nothing to occupy his time. That, coupled with the wonderful story of a lifetime of service and working many hours with the locals, has given birth to this wonderful place. The throne helps those who plan well, as the saying goes. Thanks to the diligent toil and faith of the good people of our congregation, we have brought forth a miracle in the barren land, and not one that I will see endangered. As you have probably heard, in recent times we've been plagued by signs and portents, visions and phantoms, and they indicate that some foul evil has come to my congregation. Or maybe not. There have also been disappearances, deaths, and other portents. I'm a priest of the imperial faith, and I've seen much in my years. I do not take such things lightly. And so I called on those who you serve to aid us. I ask you, I implore you, get to the bottom of this. If it is nothing, so much the better. But if there truly is a moral threat, find it, destroy it, purge it. Tomorrow on the feast of St. Drusius, which will consecrate our cathedral to his glory. Nothing will stop that. Nothing. You will have our full support. I suppose you probably have some questions.
Slightly out of character, but have we heard of deaths before? Because I can't remember.
Say again?
Have we heard about people being killed or dying before?
You haven't heard anything immediately, no.
I'm just gonna. Oh, you mentioned killings or deaths at least.
Yes,
Mind expanding.
No killings. A few deaths. Some accidents during construction, when there really shouldn't have been any accidents. Whether it was important or if it was just someone's ineptness, I'm not certain.
You
But
do not have any Czech priests overseeing the construction.
No, of course not.
Yeah, so it would be things that happen when less skilled hands. Right, it's
Well, tech priests of Mars don't generally oversee constructions of this
Why?
sort of nature.
Why
Oh.
would they? Heretics.
they have.
As much as I disapprove
Well-
of their belief systems, I would pause before calling the mechanic and the heretics.
There are no
Mm.
issues, I would say.
There's
Well,
multiple
but
ways.
That's opinions.
A bit different way of seeing the emperor. They still see the emperor's grace, but they do it differently.
Believe what you will, but someday it will not end good.
Yes.
That sounds. You probably should shut your mouth.
Well,
I interject to like stop the conversation, like full hand and like everything. Like, well, you also spoke of disappearances. Is it someone
Yes,
important or is it common worker?
No, just a handful of pilgrims every now and then,
A handful, you say?
in total, not at one time. I suppose it's quite possible they may have just been suffering from severe heat exhaustion. It's not uncommon in this climate, as I'm sure you can imagine. If they wandered out of the settlement without anyone seeing them, it would be a few days before their absence would be entirely noted.
Is there any obvious threats? And we should.
We've had a few issues with some of the livestock, some diseases, illnesses, but again, it's not necessarily anything that could be pinned down to a more malign influence.
that can
Or
be to
just-
be expected.
It'd just be poor luck. But I'm not certain. The
Have the-
strangest thing we've seen was lights up on the western ridge. When we sent a few men to investigate, they found a number of bodies. Judging by the gear scattered around, probably raiders, just local tribesmen. Their bones have been picked clean, almost. But again, such things could have a wide variety of causes here on this world.
Pick clean. Would that be the shade crows doing?
It could well be, yes.
Well,
Much of what we've seen has been in and around the camp. Say a few things outside on the rocks.
so it seems that we probably should mostly oversee the security because we do not have much obvious things to go after. I mean, we could look into the livestock, I guess, if there are any. Are there? I guess you would have any some person overseeing it.
Yes, of course. Generally, it's a fairly communal place. This people tend to just chip in as and when. It's fairly open sort of movement of people through different parts of the different job roles and the like.
I know, then I go. I've heard some interesting rumors about blood coming from parts of the cathedral.
I think they're just overexcitement combined with, as I say, some heat exhaustion. I've not seen anything in and around the cathedral itself that would.
We heard of a lady who apparently saw something. Could we meet her? Maybe ask her? Even though it probably is nothing, it's always good to find out for certain that it is nothing.
Of course, you're free to speak to anyone within the camp. You're here on your own authority. Deem it inappropriate to say that you could not speak to any of my congregation.
I'm going to be honest, I don't remember her name, but I assume my character would after just like 12 hours or something.
Yeah, Vossa. is the
Yeah.
name.
I'm gonna ask like where she is and stuff.
I believe she has a tent on the other side of the camp, near the warriors' camp, which is this bit is the warriors' camp.
Okay.
I think she has a tent over there somewhere.
We
Does
will have a
she-
talk with her.
Does she live by herself, or does she have?
Yes, she lost her family to slavers many years ago.
Nice now. And then I ask like, have there been any other witnesses of strange things? I would just like to talk to them to tie up the loose ends.
I'm not certain. I'm sure if you ask around, you'll be able to find some stories, rumors.
Nice.
So I'm more interested in the things that we can concretely see.
I nod and like go.
Many of the congregation here are they've come from hard lives, difficult circumstances. Not all of them are perhaps as reliable witnesses as you are.
I would guess the outward working force mostly comes from a nearby high world.
Say again?
I would guess the outside working class here would mostly come from a nearby hive world.
All the workers.
Yeah, the workers.
The workers
Okay.
here are the pilgrims you see here. So
Yeah,
we've built this with our own hands.
of course.
How far from comes the pilgrims? Are they in the local sector, or how
Yeah,
well
I
are
would-
Some of the people here are locals, are from Acanthus itself. Many have come from across the entire sector.
Really? So there have been people from different worlds.
Yes, many.
Um,
There are a number from Scintilla here, even a few from Malford. There are a number of faithful who have come from all over. This is a cause that has given a lot of people a great amount of hope and determination.
I nod and I said, of course, it's probably not as likely among us believers and faithful, but I've noticed that sometimes it can create a bit of friction having people from all over.
that
sectors.
was exactly the same I was thinking.
Have you noticed anything like that?
Make social tension.
There has been the odd scuffle here and there, but then we live a relatively simple life. And those who are more accustomed to greater comforts take a little while to adjust, but there's no like feuds or anything happening amongst people here. We live a relatively harmonious life.
Yeah, because when we landed, we noticed that the locals were a bit. Some of them were pretty against, let's say, outsiders.
Yeah,
And
unfortunately, that's a
that-
fairly common reaction from a lot of the more aggressive tribesmen.
Yeah,
on campus.
and I guess that would be our primary concern. Probably would be tribes in nearby that would try and disrupt.
I don't believe that would be an issue. Many of the locals tend to avoid this place out of old superstitions and habits. But even those that do come here are our friends.
That's
The locals on Acanthos do worship the Emperor in a less direct route, shall we say. They see him as a great ancestor spirit.
It's
Yeah.
not.
That's a good start.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Their belief in him is strong. It's just more the particulars of it that have changed. But then I suppose that's not that unusual amongst the worlds of the Imperium.
Mhm.
You say you talked about old superstition of this place. What is it?
To be perfectly frank, I'm not that knowledgeable on the subject. If Escherang arrives tomorrow for the consecration, as she said she would, I'm sure she'd be able to tell you more.
Yeah, because there are no like elders that's maybe not as prone to see the emperor as through this.
No, unfortunately not.
I snarl him like, is there anything else you would like to share with us before we start our investigation?
I think that's probably about it. If you have any other questions, I'm unfortunately quite busy myself, but if I can't be found or I'm otherwise occupied, both Brother Lamarck and Brother Cerberus will be more than happy to assist you.
That's understandable.
I walk up, like, shake his hand, and like, thank you for your precious time, and
No, thank you for yours. Your response to my call for aid is reassuring.
I kind of bow for him a bit. And
He'll make the sign of Aquila and sort of do the same.
yeah.
yeah, I do it back to him, and like, well, we have to take our leave. Better work and find nothing, and then chat and lose our faith. And I just turn around and start walking out, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, before I go, I basically thank him for what he's doing on this planet and then leave.
After you guys sort of head out, and you get to sort of back towards the main road.